No Preston, find us. You know where to find us.
Yeah. Oh, you've been waiting. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. They know we are. They knew we are. I came up around UTI. I drove around in a hootie car. Now I pull up like a movie star. I was always sick, but I run through EI. Your girl already knows I run through EI. NP, we were left for dead. And had to watch how they let the rest ahead. It's a war in these streets, can't even rest your head. Rest in peace, Sky, rest in peace, Trigger Cligger. I ain't even lying, this semester dead. And my granddad passed days before him. I'ma drink so much tonight I might wet the bed. If I get to bed, rest in peace, Big Two. I don't need a cig, I need two. Oh, you thinking big? Well, me too. And co-op thinking big, so him three. I remember when my stack of cash was flimsy. I just gotta thank God for my goddaughter. Hope I caught her off guard with the stuff I bought her. On guard, I'm staying on guard. Smarter, I had strapped up. Why you just been playing card hard? North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. You've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. We help each other grow, that's why we the finest. Landell went pro, that's why he the finest. Wasn't victim to the doctrine, that's why we the finest. Castile #1 in boxing, that's why he the finest. All about unity, that's why we the finest. Indigenous community, that's why we the finest. And we came from nothing, that's why we the finest. Turned it to something, that's why we the finest. They see the negative, say that's why we the finest. They the blindest, that's why we the finest. No, we ain't perfect, that's why we the finest. Our way they won't surf it, that's why we the finest. Real East Coast wave, that's why we the finest. Long way from a slave, that's why we the finest. Bloodline of royalty, that's why we the finest. All my elders spoiled me, that's why we the finest. Through shifts like a standard, that's why we the finest. We was raised with manners, that's why we the finest. Nanny made me a prayer, that's why we the finest. And Uncle Putty still the mayor, that's why he the finest. Clean like a janitor, that's why we the finest. Here before Canada, that's why we the finest. We the same off cam, that's why we the finest. Might fight, but we fam, that's why we the finest. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. I've been up home eating, man, I'm all tummy. If I lose one girl, I'ma call 20. Nose running, and the last few days was all sunny. The money calling, but why I forget to call money? I miss you, bro. Dot, dot, dot. Yo, it's easy to decipher who's real and who's not. Stop calling us weapons, now we concealing a lot. You got a feeling you hot, it's real cause you shot. When you kneel and you squat, feel the peel in your top. And you not Wolverine, stop trying to heal on the spot. No, you not Wolverine, stop trying to heal on the spot. Why you want a little, get a deal on a lot, huh? Why you want a little, get a deal on a lot? She doing full service. Been at it for a while, I'm still nervous. You can't give her dick and make her switch. My nouns in verb sick, I'm sticking to the verdict. Lucky like a bird on my head, dropping bird shit. Even if I did, still tell you I never heard shit. Young pimp, that always gotta up and leave. Fuck with us, we outside your mama house up in trees. Yeah, finest, 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 finest. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. We were left for dead, that's why we the finest. But we got ahead, that's why we the finest. Some of my people were slaves, that's why we the finest. Had to fight to the graves, that's why we the finest. You talk it, we live it, that's why we the finest. Scholars in business, that's why we the finest. Lot of talent in the town, that's why we the finest. In the silence stops now, that's why we the finest. Look at time we passed the test, that's why we the finest. Right now we at our best, that's why we the finest. Stay dressed to impress, that's why we the finest. Make a castle out of mess, that's why we the finest. Look at time we passed the test. Right now we at our best. Stay dressed to impress. Make a castle out of mess. North Preston's finest. You know where to find us. Oh, you've been waiting. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us. Like, please remind us. You don't gotta remind us.
Said I fell off. Bitch, where? I seen you fall off. Pretty neat.
Oh my gosh.
Wait now. Sauce? Don't nip. Seen you fall off. Bitch, where?
No, pretty late.
No? Sauce? Don't nip. Said I fell off. Pretty neat.
No.
Bitch, you were on pretty. Oh, wait, no. Sauce? Don't nip. See me fall off. Bitch, where? You were on pretty neat.
Shoot a free bird.